hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So before we get into today's video, just gotta say that today's video is gonna be brought to you by Beautiful Halo. And I gotta say, if you guys want to purchase some really awesome anime merchandise, everything from Boruto / Naruto to Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, click down in the description box and use my link below in order to do so. It's also a really great way to help support the channel. As a bit of an added bonus, a lot of their anime merchandise, like you saw in the video just now, is on sale right now, and there's free worldwide shipping on anything over $29. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion. This time it's gonna be for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the anime. And I gotta say, man, this last episode, a lot of people have been talking about it, and rightfully so. Like I mentioned in this episode, they actually worked harder on this last Boruto episode than they did on episode 65, where you have Naruto and Sasuke versus Fuse Momoshiki. They did more original cuts, and they did more cuts for this episode than they've done for any other Boruto episode. The previous number of cuts was actually for episode 65, and so rightfully so, this episode's been the topic of conversation for quite a long time since the episode's come out. And I wanted to go ahead and have this conversation about whether or not Boruto actually killed Deepa, or whether or not Deepa survived having that boulder fall down on top of him. And I've seen a few people ask this, and I want to go ahead and address it because I do think that there are two possible scenarios right here, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is the more likely one. So the fact is that when you look at the Boruto versus Deepa clash, you know, I'm working on the video talking about how Boruto's Rasengan actually defeated Deepa, breaking that down for some of you guys who are still confused about it. But the thing I'll definitely say for the most part is that no, obviously Boruto's Rasengan did not kill Deepa, and I don't think that even if the boulder fell on top of Deepa that the Rasengan would have actually killed Deepa. I don't think that that's the case. I think that if you go back and you check the foreshadowing, when Kakashi was looking at Boruto's Rasengan when he used it against Shojoji, he says the only reason why Shojoji was alive was because he was able to use that vapor shield, which is a wind style jutsu that reflects jutsu that are fired back at him. And so I think that when you start looking at a situation like that, I think that that's what happened with the Deepa situation, where yes, Deepa's armor was cracking, but I think it still held up enough to where Deepa was able to absorb enough of that Rasengan to where it did not actually kill him. But that's actually something of a testament to Deepa in the sense that he was able to take a compression Rasengan that also had chakra from Sarada, and most importantly, it also had chakra from Mitsuki in his Sage mode that was being funneled into that Rasengan. Mitsuki's Sage mode unleashed at full power was enough that it brought Deepa down to his knees before. So when you start compressing all that excess chakra into a small point like that, that is very impressive. And so I don't think that Boruto's Rasengan killed him, and I don't think that the actual boulder killed him as well. I know people say, hey, this is anime, if you don't see the dead body, the person isn't dead. I'm not going to use that cliche answer, but what I will definitely say though is that there is some truth in that. And I really feel like for the sense of payoff, what's going to end up happening is, just as, and small spoiler for anime only, is you want to click ahead about 15 seconds starting now, but just as you have the situation where Victor was being eaten up by the divine tree, I think you're going to have a situation where Victor survives, he comes out, and then Kashin Koji kills him, and Kashin Koji kills Deepa as well. So if you're an anime only fan, this is a safe enough time for you guys to rejoin. But I do think there's a scenario to where Deepa survives having that rock crush his body, and then what you end up happening is Kashin Koji shows up and ends up offing Deepa. And I think that that makes the most sense there, because I don't see a scenario to where Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki, even through all that training right there, even throughout all that, and Deepa using an incomplete jutsu and everything, I don't think that having them finish him off is something that is going to be the best payoff right there. I think that the best way you can build up Kashin Koji's character is to have his kill be killing Deepa, and that way you bring him into the series that way. I think that that's probably the angle that they're going for. I think that's the most likely. I think that Deepa is going to be shown surviving, and just as Zetsu was shown coming out of the shadows and devouring bodies, I think that you're going to get a very similar situation here, to where Kashin Koji shows up out the shadows, and as Deepa hears the footsteps, you're going to see Deepa turning his head, and he's going to see this hulking figure wearing a cape coming out of the shadows.
My nigga, he here! He fucking here!
Uses potentially the Flames of Purgatory jutsu in order to defeat Deepa. I think that enough damage has been done to Deepa to where you could actually see something like that being justified. And because Victor knows that Deepa was fighting against the members of Team 7, that would just be a situation where nobody questions that Kashin Koji was the one who actually took out Deepa. What I think is probably going to end up happening is they're just going to accept the fact that the guy let his guard down against some Ganin, and some Ganin were able to finally catch the dude slipping and kill him off. And you're probably, like I've been saying before, you're probably going to have a throwaway line to where they're going to refer to this dude as being the weakest member of all of the inner members. And I definitely think that if they throw him under the bus like this makes a lot of sense, and Kashin Koji can continue doing the things that he's doing in the shadows. So I think that that's probably something narrative wise that's going to make the most sense. And when you look at it, it does not make a lot of sense in my opinion that if you're going to say that the boulder fell on top of Deepa and that Deepa was weakened enough to where he could not summon up enough chakra to where the boulder just outright crushes him, I think that's lazy writing, to be honest with you. I mean, we've seen this before, don't get me wrong. We've seen how Obito got crushed by the boulders and was supposedly left dead. We definitely know what happens when you exhaust your chakra to that point, and because Deepa used a jutsu that I'm assuming is going to require a lot of chakra, and a jutsu that was by his own admission something that was incomplete, I could see a scenario to where he didn't have enough chakra to get himself out of that situation, and Boruto's Rasengan did more damage. I'm not going to say whether or not that's a good thing, because I think that that's, again, I think that's lazy writing. I don't think that's the best way to actually go about it, but this is anime, so it is something that you do got to kind of consider. However, I want to know from you guys though, how do you guys feel about this? Do you actually think that Deepa is still alive? Do you think this is a scenario to where he gets brought back later on, or do you think that because we're transitioning over to the Owl arc, do you agree with me that essentially his character arc is done and they're using this as an opportunity to kind of build up Kashin Koji before we get into the Owl arc? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.